Hey guys, all right. If you are watching this, then you have already drafted and you are learning the rules of this next particular project that we're going to be doing, which is Bankable Movie A-List Stars, which is going to be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna be great. All right. So first of all, here, you are the agent for your A-list movie star, and you are trying to get them into this role that you've heard about, this Space Odyssey movie. The audience is the movie executives, and they are trying to figure out which bankable A-list movie star they are going to pick. Now, the two that I have chosen for my project, I'm doing mine on The Rock, and I'm competing against Samuel L. Jackson. So those two guys, obviously, you probably already know this, are not going to be available to you. The movie treatment is what the studios do to kind of give an overview of what the movie is. And so you've read this treatment and you are believing that your A-list movie star fits this. It's a time of much peril. The last fleet of humans has left Earth in search of a planet to call home. Chased by aliens, having to abandon their home, our fearless leader will lead this last fleet safely to their new planet. In between, the crew will face more aliens, meteor showers, death at every turn, and several planets not welcome. However, because of the heroic leadership of our captain and because of the tireless efforts of the crew, this human race will live on. And so you are putting your A-list star as the captain of this last ship, trying to leave Earth, trying to find a planet, fighting aliens, all of that. So the rules of this particular project are, number one, don't change the theme. So this is the theme I want for all of my projects, and I'm pretty communistic about it. I'm very sorry, but it's easy for me to see it from the back. The blue and the white really make it easy for me to see. And so I really want you to focus on the content of the presentation, not the colors of the presentation. All right, so let's look at the opening slides. First of all, their scoring rubric is going to change a little bit. We are now adding what we call impact statements. Okay, and this is where you tell us the information from your particular point, and then you tell us why it's important. You're spoon feeding your audience. Okay, and on here you'll see that there are impact statements. So this is going to be counted as a part of your grade as well on this next one as well here. So please make sure that you get that, that you provide those in your speeches. So for me, for instance, this is the impact statement over here. Okay, so on the other slides, it's going to simply just say impact. But with this, you click to your first slide and you go, we have chosen The Rock, and you show your evidence. By the way, I've got this in black because you can't change this. This has to be a video. You can't change it to red. You can't change it to an article or anything. It's got to be a video on The Rock. And the reason we chose our star is, so you show your video, then you come back to this slide and you say, the reason we have chosen our star is because clearly you can see from the video, it's showing The Rock is charismatic. He's got lots of energy. He's got a great smile. He's a huge guy, could be a space galactic, whatever. And you're giving the reason for that. The next thing is you're going to give us 4 random facts about your particular star. And it doesn't, I know on my previous one, I put that he was from Texas and all that stuff. And that was only because it applied to my particular speech. But you can put any 4 stats you want, any 4 things that you find out about your star that you want to tell the audience. It will help us shape why this particular person will be the right person for the role. And then you're going to list us the 5 top grossing movies. So Furious 7 made 1.5 billion. The Fate of the Furious made 1.2 billion, all the way down to the very end. And you're going to show us this list of movies shows us, and you're going to answer that question. You're not going to write anything in here. If there's any writing in here, you will lose points from that impact statement. So you've got to make sure that you say this. You could even just say the impact of this list of movies is what you're doing is you're making analysis. You're telling us why this list is important. You're not just presenting the list and saying, judges, figure it out for yourself. You're telling us, you're spoon feeding us why this is important. The next one on here is you've got to keep the picture in the middle. And obviously you can see that this has got to be an article. You've got to actually go to an article and find it. So I think I had it on here. Let me find it real quick. The Rock is the most bankable star. And I think I found, so I had GQ on here. Where is that at? Anyway, I can use this one right here. Still the most bankable star. So you will actually click over to an article. And what I want you to be able to do on the article is show us the masthead, which is what the masthead is, the type of periodical it is. So we're looking at Esquire here. And then you're going to scroll down and you should have this ready to go in advance. And you'll show us, look, see, they've shown us that, you know, Ryan Reynolds is number 2, Mark Wahlberg number 3, Ben Affleck number 4. And all of that. So make sure that you show us an article. The next thing here is on the persuader slides. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back to opener here. Opener, the next one, you've got to show us why do fans like this role? You can use any reasons you want. You don't have to use the reasons that I'm using here. I found this as the most bankable star, but you don't have to use it. You can find any 3 reasons you want to talk about why your actor's great. I put my second argument was that he plays the hero role really well, like from Skyscraper or other movies. You have to show a video here. In reason number 2, it has to be a video. Over here, once you've shown us the video, you have to come over here and say, so what this video shows us about our star is, and you can't do it in advance. Like you can't go, he plays the hero star really well. And then what this video shows us, because you haven't showed us the video yet. So show the video. So I try to make this as paint by numbers as possible. Reason number 2, video over here. What does this video show us about it as well? Okay. The next thing, the third point here, is I like the fact that The Rock is kind of a comedian, or he plays the straight man really well with the comedy guy. And straight man not being like a sexual term, but like is straight man being like the guy who hears the joke and doesn't laugh, and like, you know, it makes it funnier for like things that Kevin Hart says because he's not laughing or whatever. He's playing it straight. And for this, you can have any reason you want in here. So what I would probably do is go find something on social media about your star, something that you like, then write your reason based off of what you found. And then over here, when we get to that, so we say, he could play the level of comedians. You show us a social media piece of The Rock with comedians, and then you show us what this media shows us, so what the social media shows us about a star is, and you explain that. Okay, let me move on here to Persuader. You must provide 3 video clips on the Persuader. So all the evidence for the Persuader is going to be only videos. Okay. So for instance, right here, my first reason is The Rock is a better action star. Now, as you can see, this is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. It should be short. It should not be long. You should not write a big, huge paragraph here, because this is you telling us this. Then you show us the video of what you're talking about, and then you tell us the impact. So you showed us, you told us this point, you showed us the evidence, and then you tell us the impact of this is that you want a guy in a space shuttle or in a, in leading a crew that's a better action star. And The Rock has proved to us over lots of movies that he is a bona fide action star, and that would make him more interesting. Or maybe you're picking someone like Tom Hanks or somebody, and you're saying he's just more likable. Like you could imagine a crew gravitating toward that particular person. Or it's Chris Hemsworth because, you know, his work as Thor, or his work, you know, in Star Trek or whatever have showed us that, you know, he's a guy that people will follow. The second one here is that, you know, The Rock can do comedy better, which we talked about a little bit as well. And really, I think Samuel L. Jackson's a pretty funny guy too, but The Rock, as we know, is really a good comedian. I mean, he's really good with a good comedian. And you're going to make sure that you give us an impact to that statement. The third one here is that The Rock has been in more big hits, and maybe show a video, show something from one of his biggest movies, maybe from the Fast and Furious or something. And then you come back and say, the impact of this is, if you don't do that, you are going to lose points every single time, because impact statements have got to be put on here. Let's see here. Okay, so that is the Persuader slides. Oops. Now over to the closer. The closer is similar to what we had before, except now you've got a reason and you've got an impact. You've got to impact what you're telling us. The Rock appeals to more ages, demographics, men, women like him. He's just overall more likable. The impact of that is that when you're looking for a bankable star, you don't want to be eliminating any particular group of people. You want everybody to want to come see this movie. And by hitting all demographics, it's going to be better. you should vote for our team because the rock is better suited to a space role, the impact of this. You're going to impact all of these things. And then you're going to give us the closure slide here, which is going to tell us you should vote for us for these 3 particular reasons. Okay, another big change this next time. Cross-examination. You do not have to write out 10 questions. Okay, you don't have to turn them in. I highly suggest that you do. When cross-examination hits, we will have a timer in the back of the room and it will be 2 minutes. You must ask questions continuously for 2 minutes. So that might mean you only need to ask 3 questions and that person who answers it lasts 3 minutes. It may mean that you need to ask 10 questions, but be aware that your scoring rubric is that you must ask questions. Right here, no pauses that are happening in there at all. Okay, so this will create a lot of great dialogue, and sometimes that first minute is the hardest. But if your person is not answering you, if you're asking a question and they're not answering you, then you need to follow up. You need to ask, say, are you going to answer this question? You need to answer this question. You also, there's no requirement on who needs to ask the questions. It could be one person asking all the questions. It could be all 3 people asking the questions. It's up to your team. Your team of executives is trying to figure out that their bankable star is better than yours. So your team is working together. There may be one person in your group who just is better at asking questions, and that's fine. But be aware that if you run out of questions and that 2-minute timer has not gone off, I will immediately start taking points off. So you've got to make sure that you've got that. All right. Hopefully if there's any other questions you can ask me, but go ahead and start on your project.